Did you know it was going to be Washington?
Yeah, I know it.
He wanted to immerse himself and assimilate himself into the culture, into the fabric of the organization, into the culture of the team, everything, as soon as possible, as smoothly as possible, and as quick as possible. And that carried over to after the lockout, when he opted to have Brian Wilsey as his first roommate. He wanted a North American roommate so that he could assimilate all those cultural type things. He wanted the spotlight, he embraced the spotlight, he was comfortable in the spotlight.
Yeah, you know, it's funny, we always talk about athletes who have the it factor, and if there was any doubt, like that day showed that, you know, he understood how important that moment was, that he was the #1 overall pick. This is my moment. He wanted to own that moment. He knew how important it was for the Capitals as a franchise. I remember myself as a young reporter, I had just come on the beat. I wasn't 100% sure who they were going to draft. So, you know, I kind of written that it's probably going to be Ovechkin. You know, Malkin was also, you know, a player that people were talking about. So when his name was called, it was like, all right, I got it right. Okay.
Now that we look back, we could see how the tone was set. But we all know, we've seen many #1 overall picks in all sports who come in with a real flourish and never seem to last. This guy, I don't want to say has defied the odds, but really I think has almost kind of set his own path, and the fact that he has lived up to what everything we saw at that moment in terms of his personality, but B, has exceeded, I think, everybody's expectation as he now races to become the greatest all-time goal scorer in this sport.
I mean, when you look back at the scouting reports from Central Scouting, Redline, Hockey News, all of those publications that were around then, I mean, they all predicted incredible greatness for this guy, but nobody can predict the way things turned out for him, for Washington, for anybody. I mean, I think everybody undersold this guy. I mean, look, nobody comes into the league and says, yeah, that's the guy who's going to break Wayne Gretzky's record, right? It's just not possible to predict that. He really has been not just a generational, but you're talking about 100 years of the league and, you know, 50 years of the draft in its current incarnation. He stands above everyone.
You know, I've been watching hockey for 3 decades now. I've been covering it for 2 decades. There's no doubt in my mind that he's already the greatest goal scorer of all time, because I don't think that a position in professional sports has changed as much as goaltender has in hockey. It's impossible to compare eras. But if you were to, you know, attempt, in my opinion, he's already the greatest, and whatever he does from here on out is just building on that legacy.